Well, hey, welcome everybody to another Tech Tip Tuesday evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you hear this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name's Ken Close. I am a Healy World member here in the United States, electronics engineer, a Healy lover extraordinaire. So I imagine most of you guys are as well. Here it is, May 23rd, the final week of the month. Woo, man, the time is flying. And so I am blessed to be joined by our head of operations, Jake Barron. Hi, Jake.
Hey, Ken, I'm a Healy lover too. So,
I love it. We got a bunch of
if there's
Healy lovers.
anyone not on this call or anyone on this call that's not a Healy lover because they're having a problem with their device, we're going to fix it and make you a Healy lover. So
I love that. That's a mission right there. You heard the song as we get a man on a mission. I think there's a couple of men on a mission here tonight. So, and we've got our tech support agent in the background, Anthony with the lightning fingers, right? Hi, Anthony. All right. I think he's back here.
Yeah,
everybody say hello to Anthony. He's going to be helping us in the background and bringing some genius to the chat. So, hey, let me tell you guys, if you haven't been to Tech Tip Tuesday before, well, hey, you're in for a treat because we are here to solve the mysteries around Healy, things around the software, the hardware, the purpose, the action, the activities, all kinds of things. Healy is what we do here. What we can't do is we can't treat, diagnose, prevent, or even advise anything around a disease, a disorder, or tell you about what kind of programs might be suited for what kind of condition. But we can take care of all the things that might stop you from finding out those answers by getting your devices running. So if that sounds great to you guys, awesome. Maybe invite a friend, and hopefully you're going to be in for a treat tonight. So Jake, are you ready to get started?
Let's go.
Okay, so folks, this is chat based, so please put something in the chat there, a question you might have. And hey, we talk about theory and technology in lots of different ways. So if you've been wondering about something about Healy, well, here's your place to ask. Okay, one question already. Let's see. Oh, it's already going crazy. Okay, greetings from Dallas. Hello, Nancy. Okay. Let's see if shift situations occurs involving international crisis. Will Healy still be there for people? That's a great question. So here's the cool thing about if you have loaded the apps on your phone and you've connected to your Healy, both the pink app, in other words, the Healy app, this guy right here, or the blue app, the Healy Advisor app, this one here. If you've connected those, you've downloaded all the content, your Healy is ready to run irregardless of the internet. So in other words, you don't need Wi-Fi, right? All you need is the Bluetooth connection from your smart device to your Healy. And hold on a minute, you don't even need to have cell service. Huh? What? Your smart device does not even need to have service. So once you've got all that set up, in other words, you do have to have a Wi-Fi initially, right? So that you can download data, or you need to have a good data stream with your cellular network. But let's just say you don't have that. Okay. After you're done, Healy's still going to work. Cool, huh? All right. Jake, you want to add anything to that?
I just want to add, I had to Google what an SHTF situation means, so I got it now. But yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a polite way of saying.
Yeah, you covered it. So.
Okay. So let's see what else we got. Still question. I think I answered the next one too about if the internet goes down, does Healy still function? Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Set up, initially setting up. Remember I said you've got to have a Wi-Fi or a cellular data network because you've got to download content from the Healy cloud, right? So, okay. Let's see. I have a question here. When, if I get a chance? Okay. Well, shoot away here. What are your thoughts on the blue beta? So the blue dot app right here, is right now there's a new version of it in beta testing. And so here's, guys, we might have just been getting started with Healy, right? Just like last week or last year. But Healy's been in the transition in the development for a decade, right? For a long time. Time Waver is the clinical-based practitioner operated system, the mothership, I guess you might say, of Healy. And it took Marcus and his crew years to develop a system that was wearable and individualized app-based system of the Time Waver, so we could all have it ourselves. Okay, it took a long time. So the apps were based on some earlier technology, right? Some earlier platforms. And so the reason right now these are being transferred over or shifting, such as the beta testing system we did with the pink app initially, right? And then we're now doing the blue app. So the reason for that is because we're shifting over to the new platform, the Heal Advisor search app. This guy over here, you can see that next to me over here. All right, right behind me. The one with the wavy lines. So that one is also on the new platform. So the blue dot or the blue app, the Heal Advisor Analyze app is the last one to get moved over. And I love it. I mean, it does some cool stuff. There's so much more expansion, right? You can, like, when you do an analysis and there's those numbers, right? There's the percentage and the letters and the numbers. Like, what is that? You can click on them and boom, it opens up a what is this kind of thing, right? So so there's a lot more expansion within that, and you can also let it run in the background. Ah, cool, huh? So in other words, the blue app currently, the Advisor app, when you run a scan and then you start to vibrate those frequencies into your field, into the client, you can't turn the screensaver on, you can't take a phone call, you can't do anything else with your smart device, right? You have to leave it in the front window operating. Well, with the new system, you can move it to the background and it will still be doing its job. Okay. Yeah, that's my opinion. I mean, Jake, what do you think of that?
No, it's amazing. It really is. You know, the going from the old Pink Dot app to the new Healy 2 app was a huge step forward. This one, the Analyze app to the new Analyze 2 app, is an even bigger step forward. As far as the Analyze app is way more complex than the Healy 2 app, and what all goes into making all these modules and databases and the different analysis, from the resonance to the aura to the coaching module. And the fact that this new app platform lets us add additional modules going forward in the future as well. It just opens up all kinds of possibilities for the future. So yeah, it's amazing. And, you know, it will be, you know, Martin Whitman was on a call a couple of weeks ago. He mentioned the target was, I think mid-May. We're past mid-May, or just past mid-May, but again, it's still in beta. But the plan is, again, within the next, you know, couple of weeks into, you know, sometime middle of next month, to hopefully have that released fully for everybody, not just in beta. But we'll stay tuned. We'll keep you updated on this call.
Yeah, absolutely. Come back, ask us some more questions, and, you know, and of course, I'm guessing you'll probably want to do a Healy for Beginners and Beyond, right,
Oh,
Jake?
for sure. Yeah, we will definitely, once it's fully released, the final version, you know, the first real release, not the beta, we will definitely do some Healy for Beginners and Beyond, and we'll go into some more information on each of the different modules and how they differ old versus new, or any new features that, you know, you kind of have to keep in mind. So stay tuned for more information on that as well.
Yes, absolutely. And there is one that was done on the new Healy 2 app, by the way, on Healy for Beginners and Beyond. If you guys didn't catch that, go back to the YouTube page and take a peek, because there was some cool stuff for comparisons and stuff. Yep. All right. Okay, so greetings from Oakland. Hey, Erica, how you doing? I'm getting a weird non thing. What happened when I run aura or on resonance? Run the aura on resonance. Now, okay, aura and resonance, two different things. Okay, so first of all, aura and resonance, two different analysis, by the way. So I'm not sure what the weird non-thing happen means. If you want to add maybe down there some more content to that question, we'll certainly unpack it. So
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when we start working in the information field and we do analysis essentially from an aura field. Now, here's an interesting concept and understanding, because I had Marcus actually talked about this. When the analysis is done from the aura module, it's actually not looking at your physical aura, it's looking at the information field aura of the client. Okay, so again, whether that client is a person, an animal, a plant, a building, whatever, everything has a blueprint in the information field. Now, I maybe some people have never heard of the information field, but I want you to understand that all things are energy, and all energy has a very specific signature. That's the only thing that separates one form of energy from another, is its signature, aka frequency. So the chair you're sitting in is built of different types of energy because the materials it's made out of. They all have their own frequency. Matter vibrates at a very slow frequency so that it's solid, appearing solid. But if you magnify down all the way to the molecule of it, it's not solid. It's just electrons, right? And it's molecules of moving energy. Okay, so when we're doing an analysis with Healy, Healy looks at the information field, right? When it's doing an analysis with the Analyse app, it looks at the information field of the client, not the physical you, right? And then when it does the analysis, it takes the information field blueprint of whatever the client is, you, pet, plant, building. It takes the information field. It's a blueprint in its finest form. There's nothing wrong with you there. Okay, that's the client. Then it takes the database in which you've chosen it to analyze you on, whether it's the aura or if it is the Bach flower or the Healy apps or the programs. Okay, it takes that database and looks throughout that entire database, all the content in that database, and finds whatever's in that database within that boundary to align you, the physical you, with the blueprint perfect you. And then it gives you all the data as to how to do that. So when it's looking at the aura of us, it's the aura from the field. It's a perfect field aura. And then it's showing you the dissonance, right? Each center might be a lower energy because of whatever it tells you is the purpose and the reason. But if it's the resonance scan, now it's looking at the body itself, the physical matter, and comparing to the perfect blueprint, the physical matter in space and time right now, and then finding the alignment within the database you've chosen. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Anyway, Erica, I'll keep going down the list here and look at what you added. Okay, but let's get to Toby here. Do any of the Healy modules specifically contain Solfeggio frequencies? Yep. They do. So I want you.
Yeah, while you were talking about that, I was looking up the information for this next question, because there in back office, there's actually, I want to share my screen, kind of show you here. Hold on a second. There's two program groups or programs that specifically mention this. So this, okay, this first one here, this is available in your back office. This is the Healy Bioenergetic Vitalization flyer, and you'll see here exactly what you were just asking about. There's a whole section here that talks about those frequencies and sort of the reason behind them. Talks about things, all the way back to Nikola Tesla, called these three numbers the code numbers of the divine. So there's a lot of great information there. And then also this is mentioned too. So Healy Bioenergetic Vitalization mentions that those are combined with traditional frequencies to harmonize the bioenergetic field. And then this is the Healy manual. This is available in your back office as well, or you can just download this document from or view it from the Healy 2 app. But you'll see here the Mind program in the well-being program section also mentions this too. So yeah, there are definitely several different programs here available at Healy that use those frequencies.
So I want you guys to write this down. So Healy operates between a frequency range of 0.1 hertz up to 1 million hertz. That's 1 megahertz. So 0.1 all the way up to 1 million or 1 megahertz. And the Solfeggio frequencies are like within the hundreds of hertz. Okay. And Healy breaks that range down. So 0.1 all the way up to 1 million. It breaks it down into almost 9 million different increments. Think about this. Almost 9 million, right? 8,999,000 some. Okay. So that many different increments. And so this is how and it does the analysis on the resonance of our body within the speed of light, literally within the speed of light. So it can look at all the possibilities to align you and then match you up with frequencies to do so. So cool stuff. All right. What's next? What does it mean when the green light on the Healy is not on, but the program on the device is still running? If you're talking about in the Blue app or the Analyse app, once it starts a vibrate mode, right? So you've done an analysis, and you'll see when you're doing an analysis, you'll see the green light and the blue light because they're, it's interfacing and speaking. The green light is meaning that there's data transfer between the app and the Healy. Sometimes that's what it means. So when you're running the Blue app and it's already loaded, and you might have noticed that it runs a couple of cycles of the vibrate mode, whatever database you're running, a couple of cycles, and then the green light may not be coming on very often. It will every now and then, but it starts to get a pattern. It doesn't need to transfer data because it already knows what it's supposed to be doing. Right? It doesn't need to refer back to the app. So it's still doing its job, right? And the Healy's still doing its job. The app is still running for whatever timed increment you've selected, right? So does that make sense? Yeah. You want to add anything to that, Jake?
No. That's a lot of times we get the question sort of the reverse. They've maybe disconnected from Bluetooth, but the green light's still flashing or something like that. In that case, you're no longer connected to the app, but the program's going to continue finishing, specifically in like the Healy 2 app using maybe microcurrent program or something.
Yeah, and when it comes to that Healy 2 app, the microcurrent application, so you see when you're transferring a program to the Healy, you see the green light flashing very quickly. That's data transfer, right? The blue light is also flashing because it's using the Bluetooth frequency communications channel to do that action. And then once it's transferred, the green light will just start to flash at about a rate of 1 flash per second. Okay. And the Bluetooth light still flashes as well, as long as you have the app open, right? And it's still communicating. So it's sitting there and they're both doing their little flashing. And eventually the green light will stop flashing because the program's over. The program's over. It's reached the max duration time for the program, or your body has become 100% resonant with all the frequencies it's chosen for you and it's done. Either way, the green light goes off. The blue light will still flash because there's still a connection between the Healy and the app via the Bluetooth radio signal. Okay. So that's the reason that it would not flash during a Healy 2 program. And then all the reason I mentioned when it's related to the Analyse program. All right. What else we got, Jake? Pam's asking a question about the MagHealy. Okay, in charging the MagHealy, I have read the manual. It says if the base is blinking after you put the MagHealy on it, means something is wrong. Is it that my box doesn't have enough amps? When I plug it into my solar generator, the base doesn't blink. Is allowing the, let's see, is allowing the blinking to continue going to be any problem in the battery longevity on the MagHealy? You want to address that one? You see that one, Jake?
So yeah, I'm wondering, because are they using just the solar generator, or are they using both? Because it sounds like sometimes it blinks and sometimes it doesn't. So I guess they're using two different ways of possibly charging it. So I guess I'm curious, maybe they put it in the chat, is their MagHealy actually charging? Are you, regardless of what's blinking on the base itself, but yeah, if it is normal for it to blink when you first put it on there, but not to continue blinking on there, the base itself. But I'm wondering, are they getting a full charge? So if their battery needs to be charged, they're doing this no matter what's happening, if it's the solar generator or something else, is it actually getting back to a full charge when they go connect to it again and look in the app? What is the battery reading saying there?
Yeah, because you're going to have that indicator in the app of the little battery there, and it'll show you the percentage. If you tap on it, it'll show you the percentage of the battery there for whatever device you're connected.
And are you getting, on a higher intensity, around 4 hours or so of usage on it, and how long is it taking it to charge too? I'd be curious to know too. So.
Okay. Let's see. So Erica asked, what's the difference? What's the difference between the Healy app and the Pink Dot app? It's the same. This guy, I'm sorry, guys. So these two apps right here, right? Originally, we had the logo was real similar, right? You see the two logos? They're real similar, and one has a pink dot and one has a blue dot. And so they have a name, Healy app, or the Heal Advisor Analyze app. We just lovingly, I don't know, years ago, said pink dot, blue dot, right? And so that's kind of stuck. Now I'm trying to retrain my lingo to say Healy app or Healy 2 app, which is it's still pink in its color. And then the new version, the beta version that we're testing right now, looks like this type of pattern, but it's blue in there instead of pink. So I may still call it blue app. I don't know. I'll try. Okay. All righty. What else? So I see Anthony's helping you out back there, Erica. Everybody's getting the new app all set up. Yeah. All right. So David's saying, hey, they need to enlarge the text for us with senior eyes. Well, yeah, I get you. Those are suggestions being put out. Yeah, let's see. There's, and there also, I want to mention when it comes to suggestions, I love it. Thank you guys for putting suggestions in here. Within your shop page, underneath the customer service, the support portal, you can actually put in suggestions there as well. So I highly recommend doing that because
you could do that, but also another option, maybe even more direct, would be you can, within the Analyse 2 app, within the beta app, if you go to the settings, there's a send feedback section there too. So if you want to send feedback specifically related to the font size on the Analyse 2 app, something like that, to go ahead and log in and do it directly from that section too. So it'll go right to the product developers.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's a great idea. Okay, so Dixie says, thank you. I didn't know it would run in the background. Yeah, the new one will. When the beta test that's doing right now will, and then eventually when it's launched in its full version, it will.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people, that's their favorite feature, the fact that it can run in the background. There's so many new features that are great, but that's definitely up there for ease of use for many people going forward.
Okay, so let's see. So back to Erica's question. It says, my aura is strong and stable for me and everyone. So this makes me think it's not properly working. No. So, okay. So you see when it does this analysis, it sees the desired state, right? And then it shows like, this is an intention statement. I'll put it that way. So when you read that, it's an intention. My aura is strong and stable. This is what you want, but it's also giving you some, let's call it dissonance, some things that's, it gives you some content to read. And it's, it takes a bit of deciphering because it's speaking to you in a present state, of what you should be. Right. Okay. So in other words, like, my aura is strong and stable. That's what it should be. Right. And sometimes it might say that, there's some pretty intense quotes in there, like, the blackmail of the mother or the father or some of the stuff that comes up when it's talking about some conditions within it. So, you got to kind of read through that. I mean, I would have to like see some examples to kind of decipher it, but that's, if you have anyone in your upline that you can speak with. Yeah. And so get on the, on some calls and we can kind of, I mean, not we, but there are other resources too, to try to find out what some of this stuff actually, the text actually means. Yeah, I do that too with some folks over the phone when I got somebody asking me, what's this mean? I don't know, actually the beta one, Jake, I haven't done much with the aura in the beta one. When you do an aura test or an aura analysis with the beta, there's some more information associated with those readings too now.
Yeah, I off the top of my head, I don't specifically remember that difference yet. So, well,
So if you've been invited to use the beta, I don't know if you've got an iPhone or if you've got an Android, you should have got an email when they were looking for beta testers. And that email you just click on the link and you could download the beta version of the Blue app, and it would have the aura analysis, the coaching, and the resonance. And if you didn't get that, well, I don't know if they're still taking any more people. Are they, Jake?
it depends on if it's Android or iOS, but in the very near future, we'll have the full release available. I actually just opened up, I'm using the iOS beta version, and the focus does say at the top, my aura is strong and stable too, in the new Analyse 2 app. So
yeah, and that's just a focus statement. It's just like an intention. It's not like it's telling you that it's happening. It's just saying this is my intention for that.
So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. And she mentioned, is there a reset button to troubleshoot that? There's no need to reset. There's no way to reset the aura module just specifically by itself. That's just how it is, as Ken mentioned, for the focus statement.
Yeah, it is still doing it's doing what it's supposed to do, right? It's doing an analysis, and it's giving output, but to decipher that, trust me, there's people way better than me at deciphering that content. But it's, maybe we're going to have a class. That's one of the things I love doing is Super Saturday things, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that's something we put into the future.
Yeah.
A Super Saturday on reading the analysis. Let's find some experts, Jake.
I know a few, don't you too?
Yep. I think we get a panel together and we make something up. Okay. Let's see. So Alex says, I have a comment about the size of the font in the beta app because it's hard for seniors to read. Yeah, we just were talking about that. It's too small. Question is, where do we have to address our feedback? So you heard Jake say there is a spot within the app.
Yeah.
Where you can actually go in there and give feedback. So just at the bottom of the screen, let's see. If you want to pull another question up, Jake, I'll look around here.
Okay, yeah. So there's got some questions related to the MagHealy here. So So James has read the FAQ, watched the Academy video on MagHealy, but still has some questions. So first question, several different parts here, but is can you inform the water with more than one program at a time? So that's a great question. I think it was last year sometime, shortly after MagHealy was introduced. So I think, Ken, we discussed this a little bit, because the question is, what are you trying to do? Because to mix them, I think we've always advised just to do one at a time. Keep it the focus on one. The MagHealy, specifically for water, it only takes 20 minutes. No, wait, sorry, not even 20. Is it 10 minutes? I just suddenly lost.
Yep.
But anyway, it's very quick to do, and you can inform different glasses of water with different frequencies. So if you, rather than mix them into one, you could do one bottle that has, whichever one you want, and then another one, the other one. And the second part of this question was, how long does it last? And the guideline that we've always shared is around 12 hours. You want to drink that water within that period of time. So that's the best option. So keep them separate. We'll focus on one of them at a time, and drink them within 12 hours. So the first two parts of this question. And then this third question, I've never had anyone ask this before. It was a great question. Can you add just small amounts of the informed water to non-informed water and have the mixture be as the original? And
so when it comes to diluting, the dilution factor, like this goes into taking the essence of a specific energy and then diluting it over larger bases of water or mediums. Yeah, you can. And depending on, just like a magnetic wave that is sent from the Healy has some degree of effectiveness right within the proximity of the device, and then gets a bit weaker the further away it goes, right? So it's still there throughout the entire universe, but its intensity is lowered. So can you get it? Here's what the one thing that I always mention to most people is that what your body doesn't know the difference between something you make up in your mind or something it experiences in a three-dimensional space. It's an objective entity, the body, cell by cell, 800,000 cells per second being recreated under the influence of the energy in the present moment. It's objective. So if you decide to believe that those mixtures have high effectiveness or low effectiveness or zero effectiveness, the body is going to get on board with that. So yes, there is effectiveness to some degree. Our ability to get on board with that as a mind, as a consciousness, is going to have a big influence. Okay. Was there more to that question?
Yeah, there actually was more. So this is a picture on the program, shows the MagHealy on top of a pitcher. So yes, and then it says, can you just put it next to the glass pitchers or several glasses and have it work just as well? So the reason they have it on top, and I have one here, is that everything's coming out of the bottom here. So could you put it aside? Sure, but it's most effective if it's directly on top, because this is the most powerful, the source of everything here. So ideally, maybe there's not a situation where it can rest properly on there. Maybe it's angled or something like that and it won't stay. But if possible, you want it resting directly on top of whatever glass or pitcher you're using there.
Yeah. So the transmitter, the emitter, let's call it the emitter, the frequency emissions comes from the bottom. Just like with the Healy, it comes out of the back under the clip. When you put the coil on it, it sends that information forward and back. But so could you take the MagHealy and turn it sideways and push it into the side of something? Yeah. I mean, it's sending it out the bottom that direction. It's just, there has to be some physical rules that were written down. And that's what it has put on top of the glass.
Yeah. And I've seen people, rather than, if they can't put it on top, like you said, rather than put it on, flat next to it. Maybe they lean it up against it, so it's going to the side here. So that would be another option too.
Exactly. Yep. Okay. There's a fourth part of that.
Yeah, so there's many this placement on the chest or abdomen. Is there a holding strap we can use so we don't have to lie down and not, right now in the Americas, we don't have a case for that. It's certainly a good idea and something, under discussion for the future, because would be nice to have that. I know a lot of people use other options, sort of like almost like a fanny pack type thing, or a bag that you can put across your chest to kind of hold that MagHealy in there. So you can get creative and kind of, use some other things that, aren't specifically designed for the MagHealy, but function the same way as far as holding it in that same area.
Yeah, and there's a great question here, or statement saying that Linda was saying since having problems with MagHealy since the conference, and it will only work on the charger. So yeah, so put in a ticket about that so they can do some troubleshooting with you. And looks like Anthony's all over that in the background. Pictures are always great. So yeah, do some troubleshooting with Anthony or the customer service so they can find out what's going on. Okay, so James is asking a question: can the MagHealy be run while it's on the charger? Yes. In fact, the infinite programs you kind of need to, or it'll go dead after, if you're running it all night. I wouldn't make that a habit. In other words, it's a good idea to run your MagHealy or your Healy through its entire battery range, right? In other words, full charge cycle, charge it all the way up, use it all the way up until it's dead, recharge it, charge it all the way up, use it all the way till it's dead, recharge it, instead of just keeping it on the charger all the time. You want to give that battery a workout. Okay. Let's see. So Sherry says, I've tried 10 different cords and USB. So in other words, you're having some trouble with it charging. Yeah, cords or the USB adapter that plugs into the wall, changing those out. If you get the same result and not charging it, not having it, that's going to be a customer service support ticket. Make sure you put that in. It sounds like you've done what's needed. Let's see. So Dory says, I have the professional edition. What is the advantage to getting the MagHealy? Do people use both? Yes, actually the MagHealy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the MagHealy does have some different applications and things. So yes, using both is highly effective and commonly practiced, because the MagHealy, first of all, understand the MagHealy has got 2 quantum sensors in it, and it also has 2 Kozyrev mirror systems in it, which actually build let's call it a more filtered environment, okay, for the magnetic signal to be able to have effectiveness. So in other words, it's as if you have a bubble around your environment, and then the frequencies are implanted into that. So in other words, other people's magnetic interference, other transmitters interfering with you becomes less effective on you when you've got the MagHealy. So it's got a better shielding process. The Healy, it also, when you're running the coil, also kind of builds that magnetic bubble. But the MagHealy is it's got more power, right? It can go further in terms of the magnetic emissions. Now, the MagHealy cannot do the microcurrent, so a whole different modality. But both together, yeah, it's like having your electrolytes and your water.
Yeah. Read through that couple page MagHealy brochure, and it talks about using them together, how they work together as a sort of a orchestra performing the symphony. So they benefit when you amplify sort of the effects of both of them when they're run together. And I mean, yeah, also, as Ken mentioned, yeah, but the MagHealy is the only product we have that you get the benefit of the dual frequencies at the same time with those McMakin programs too. So, and then of course the more powerful way to inform water with frequencies as well, which we kind of just talked a little bit about too.
So, and Alex is saying, so about the MagHealy programs, they appear on the Blue app. My doubt are if the programs works as well if the users do not have the MagHealy device. And also if it's the same effect to run these programs to people who are not physically in the room where the MagHealy is running the program. So the Blue app, the Heal Advisor Analyze app, does have the MagHealy databases in it, and you can run them in vibrate mode. Now, it's different. It is different. It is different because it is, when you're running the Heal Advisor Analyze app, the Blue app, its purpose, its mission is to build quantum entanglement between the client and the information field, right? And then send frequencies to the information field, okay, more so than the direct body. The MagHealy is designed to send magnetic energy to the direct body, So it's like, if you guys are familiar with like some of the magnetic, the physical magnets you wear around your wrists or on your body, you know, for certain benefits. So you're putting a magnetic field against the body. So that's exactly what the MagHealy is doing, is putting a magnetic field against the body. When you're running the vibration mode in the Heal Advisor app, the Blue app, from the Healy, then you're running it into the information field. And then it needs to then upregulate the material you from a quantum entanglements perspective. A little bit different. Okay. So Sherry's saying something about held both for 30 seconds. I'm assuming, are you working on a reset or something? I'm not sure. Sherry's talking to Anthony or something.
Yeah, I think she was working with Anthony on that. And we've got a couple of questions here. Anthony's helping some questions related to the what type of charger to use with the MagHealy, the proper amps and everything there. Let's see, further down.
Okay, so Erica is still saying that, talking about that statement that says my aura is strong and stable repeatedly for different people. Yes, it'll say that for everyone. Every single person that does an aura analysis, it's going to say that my aura is strong and stable, because that is your focus statement while getting analyzed. Just the same as when you run a resonance scan, it says, what's it say? The statement is, with what do I have the greatest resonance now? It's a question to the universe. It's a question that's put out into the information field, so that it's putting our attention on an intention. So wherever we place our energy, or wherever we place our awareness, is where we place our energy. And no different than when we're doing an analysis and you put your finger on the screen, so that your focus is on the task at hand and not worrying about what you're going to make for dinner, or who cut you off at traffic, and none of that. So this is the same thing with the aura. It's keeping you focused on a statement of my aura is strong and stable repeatedly. It is working perfectly, but that statement's always going to be one that you put into the analysis over and over again. You can make your own statement if you want. Healy just has to give people something, right? Some folks are very, very skilled in creating intentions, and they write out an intention and say it while they're doing this analysis, so that the analysis is then influenced by where they place their attention, right? Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. That's taken into account during the analysis. Like I said, if you're worrying about what's for dinner or getting cut off in traffic, that's taken into account. And it may have a lot of different outcomes.
Yeah. So this is a good question. It's kind of related to what you just discussed there. It says, can the MagHealy programs be used for distance sessions? So Kenny, as you were just talking about, when the MagHealy databases that are in the Analyse app, those are being vibrated directly into the information field, which is different than using the MagHealy, using the Healy 2 app in person and placing it directly on your body. So if what you're doing is using the Analyse 2 app, you can use those programs, the MagHealy programs, just like you would any of the other programs that you would vibrate into the information field.
Yep. The new, by the way, the new Heal Advisor Analyze app, the new blue app, is going to have a little bit different method that it's using to try to hold your focus. It's a little bit different, maybe a little more elaborate, but there's going to be some differences that are going to be noticed. So again, I love these questions too, because Erica's saying that, even her upline was concerned that statement was for everybody,
Yeah.
And that it seemed like there was a technical issue, but it's not. It's because that's to hold one's attention on that specific statement, which is an intention.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is an interesting question. It's in Bioenergetic Defense, suggests using without electrodes and wristbands. So we've talked a little bit about this as well, where it kind of just shows the Healy clipped on to someone's shirt with no coil, no wristbands. And we get the question, well, how is that one working? Because it's in the Healy 2 app. It's not in the Analyze app. And it's every other program group in the Analyze and the Healy 2 app says to either use, coil or the electrodes. So what's going on here? That it says not to, that's a great question.
We've talked about this a little bit in the past, and I want to kind of outline exactly what Healy does. Healy does 3 things. It has 3 ways in which it interfaces with its environment. Okay. Using the wires connected to this plus and minus output right here, and then connected to the body. It doesn't matter if it's with the wristbands or with the sticky pads. This is one method. And this one method's purpose is to deliver microcurrent into the body. And the microcurrent is simply a carrier wave or carrier modality for the frequencies that Healy is placing upon it. So that's one modality. Modality number 2 is that every single time, if you see on the app, the little icon at the top of the screen, in the old Healy app, the pink dot, it was 3 little dots connected by a line. In the new one, it just says IMF. The IMF means that it's optimized for the coil, for one thing, but also because it is transmitting out of the inside the Healy, there's a noise generator, frequency generator. It's sending those same frequencies that you're seeing on the screen of your app out of like a radio transmitter, sending them out. Okay. So simultaneously, it's going out the leads and out of the internal generator. So that's modality number 2, sending them out from the internal generator. Modality number 3 is Healy simply creating a quantum entanglement pathway between the client and the quantum transmitter. Essentially, I don't know how to explain it simply. It is an interface with electron flow. Okay. Like I said, everything is energy, and every material thing, every energy form has electrons, and these electrons, this field is an infinite field of information. This is how Healy's third modality works. So when the question is, and as Jake said, that defense page says you're not even connected to any of the leads, you can connect. I would highly advise you, go ahead and connect, put on the microcurrent into the body, run the same program, and you're going to feel microcurrent coming out of those leads with those programs that just tell you to clip it to your pocket.
Yeah, I mean, Ken, in the description for those programs, it does say alternatively, bracelets can be used for a more intense application, just as you just said there.
Yep. So that understand that there are simultaneous things happening. There's a lot of complexity to Healy, and we just look at it as this little box, that we charge up and put wires on. There's a lot of complexity in the circuitry within the Healy. The quantum sensor itself is designed very specifically out of some material that allows for the analysis to take place and the interface with the electron field. So pretty advanced. Just know that there is energy being sent in the form of frequencies in a magnetic signal out of Healy, like the MagHealy, but more subtle. The MagHealy is more powerful, and it has 2 quantum sensors to deliver 2 frequencies at the same time for certain program applications. So MagHealy does a little bit different things. Okay.
Got a couple of questions here. Some of these, if we're skipping over it, sometimes it doesn't mean we don't want to help you out or answer certain things we cannot discuss on this call. If you have a custom program from a time waiver practitioner, we can't really discuss anything related to how it's supposed to be used, because we don't know. We don't know what the background is on that, as far as where and how long and that kind of thing. So I would get back to your time waiver practitioner if they created a program specifically for you to kind of ask those details.
Yeah, and if you have suggestions such as like here's a statement here about in the aura, that aura chart not being there in the new system. Sometimes people just like to look at that. Make those suggestions within the app. As far as what you'd like seeing from the old one and blending it into the new one. Hey, Sharon says thumbs up on the Super Saturday idea. All right. I'm way behind, I think. We got a lot of questions here, Jake.
Yeah, I kind of, Anthony's been helping out, thank you so much in the chat here. So he has been able to help several people, or, kind of look up their tickets while we're on the call here. So certainly appreciate that. There's a question at the bottom here about okay, there it is. So about vital substances. So somebody had the program group and they said it disappeared when they moved to the new Healy app. It went away. Is it just my problem, or has it been removed? So if you had vital substances before on your Healy device, we haven't removed it from anyone's device. Maybe you need to run a full sync or something like that in your Analyse app to possibly get that back. But that program was no longer, that database was no longer included for people. It was, I think, October 1st of 2022. So it was replaced by the Courage database, which is now the program group that comes in that place. But if you had it before, again, try maybe doing a full sync in your Analyse app to see if that database comes back. But if it doesn't, you can go ahead and just submit a support ticket, and our team will be happy to take a look to see what may have happened there.
Yay. All right. Let's see. Izzy was talking about did see a silicone holder on the Amazon similar to the necklace without the straps. I'm assuming you're talking about this guy. Again, there's other things out there that are aftermarket. Healy does not make this. This was laser printed or 3D laser printed. So there's a lot of stuff being made.
Yeah.
Okay. Some kudos to the MagHealy about using it for certain conditions and lots of effectiveness. That's awesome. That's great stuff.
Yep.
Okay. And Alex is seeing the difference that I'm talking about with the different modalities. Awesome. Well, you guys are catching on to that. And recording is here. You know, it will be available. So kind of go back and write things down. You can pause things, write stuff out so you can kind of get a grasp. It's really important, I think, that we get an understanding in the mind because there's a lot going on here. Okay. I see some stuff about some conditions we can't really talk about. Let's see. What's David's question here said, the new Blue Dot beta program has the demo function that stores your info for 5 days and then resets, which is really cool. Yeah. You know, when it finally launches, that I'm assuming the demo will still keep it as long as you don't delete the app, you know. But that's what it had been before. The demo function would allow you to hand it off to somebody, and then they could do as many scans, as many clients as they want. It just kept there until you took it out of demo mode. Once you logged out, it went away.
Yeah, and we'll be talking more in the coming weeks and months of the new demo app itself that's going to be coming out, that you can kind of loan your Healy to somebody and it walks them through this whole process. So we don't, you know, it's not fully finalized yet, but it's coming in the near future, which is going to be great also. So
yeah, I can't wait. I've been catching
Yeah.
bits and pieces. You guys, we talked about it on what was it? What's up Wednesday last week? Or was it
I
it
think
was on
so, or
what there was
I don't remember, Frequencies and Friends or something, but yeah.
yeah, that's what it was. I think it was Frequencies and Friends, the last episode that was talked about this new app. And
Yeah, I think Martin Whitman discussed some information on it. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. So great stuff coming. Just keeps
Yeah.
getting better, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so it looks like Anthony's helping out. Sherry in the background says 2 of my 3 Healys totally stopped working and I can't eliminate the app and start over because they are totally dead. So the app, by the way, on your smart device has nothing to do with your Healys. You can delete the app on your smart device anytime. You can get rid of it. Remember, when you do delete any app, whether it's Healy or any other app that you have on your smart device, you want to shut your smart device completely off afterwards and then reboot it so that it kind of reallocates some of the memory allocations or the cache that deleted app used to possess. Okay. Make sure you do that because the Healy app also has certain connections to different aspects of your smart device. And when you delete it, it gets rid of those. And then you go and reload it. It'll refresh those connections. One of the biggest problems, folks, with a smart device and app issues or glitches is the amount of memory that's on your smart device. So in other words, we get these smart devices and we start taking a bunch of pictures and videos and apps and notes and whatever else, and even our text feeds. We've got all kinds of stuff on our device, and suddenly the memory, the allocated memory within the device is depleted. And then all of a sudden our apps start acting weird. And I'm not talking about just the Healy app. I'm talking about any of them. There'll be glitches and all kinds of weird stuff going on. And that's not because the app has a problem. It's because the smart device doesn't have the proper amount of memory to do some of the refresh functions or access functions that the CPU needs to do. So take a look at the memory in your settings. Look at the memory and look at how much is available, because you need to have a minimum of 25% of your memory available free within your smart device for Healy to function properly. It's a memory resource hungry device or app. It needs it just to function properly. So check that out. You may need to delete some pictures or not delete. I know the pictures of your dog, very important. Don't delete them. Take them off, put them in the cloud, or put them on your hard drive somewhere, something so you can free up space on your smart device. Okay, I'm that way too. I had to go up to a terabyte of memory on my phone. Terabyte. If you don't know what a terabyte is, look it up. It's a lot of gigs. That's a lot. All right. What else we got? So Izzy says, but Vital Substances is in the beta, as is Materia Medica. Yay. Yes, it is. I mean, all these databases are going to get transferred over. The beta should have, I don't know if there's anything missing from the beta, but let's see. What else did we miss? Anything else, Jake? I think we're at the end of our hour, by the way.
We are, yeah. I think we had a fast and furious close there, but
wow. And thank you, Anthony, for lots going on in the background there. I was kind of reading through some of the answers and stuff. Genius stuff. Thank you very much. Well, we are at the end of the hour, so thank you very much for being here, everybody. If this was useful to you, please send out an invitation next time. If people are seeking answers, definitely guide them this direction. The recording will be on the YouTube page. If you don't know how to get there, you can go to the Healy Americas. What is it?
.com.
Yeah, Healy Americas with an S.com. And it'll take you right to the YouTube page. And there are different playlists there. A Tech Tip Tuesday, What's Up Wednesday, some great stuff from customer support. Subscribe, hit that little subscribe button and the notification button too, so you can get notified of new stuff. This one will be on there next. If you want to save the chat right now because you found some useful stuff, down at the bottom of the screen right there where you would type in your chat content right next to the smiley face, 3 little dots, tap on those. There's a spot where it says save chat. You can click on that. When we get off the call here, there'll be a notification for you to save this chat. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Anthony. Love you guys. And we'll see you all next week, huh? Bye for now.
Thank you.